everyone! I'm back again to read you another story, and this is another one that one of you asked us to read. So we've got today Duffy's Lucky Escape. And Duffy is a sea turtle, so we've got our very own Duffy here to read the story with us. Okay, let's see what happens to Duffy. Once off an island far, far away, in the sun and the sea, lived a beautiful sea turtle called Duffy. She happily swam in the warm, clear waters of her coral reef, searching for tasty jellyfish and shimmering shoals of fish to eat. She liked to dive down to the sandy sea floor to munch on the waving beds of delicious seagrass, and then she would float gently up to the surface and bask in the tropical sun. One day, a wild and ferocious storm whipped up the sea into towering waves which crashed down on poor Duffy. The storm raged on, sending her spinning and tumbling away from her home and pushing her far out to sea. After the storm, the sea became calm once more. Duffy found herself surrounded by strange shadows and unknown creatures that slid past her in the dark, murky waters. Duffy was hungry and started her search for food, desperately trying to find the rocks and the reefs of home. Flashes of colour started to dance in front of her like shimmering fish. She remembered these from her own coral reef. Slowly at first, then faster and faster, she chased these colourful flashes, snapping them up in her mouth and gulping them down to her tummy. Strange objects were floating around Duffy, and they looked like jellyfish in the gloomy waters. They had short tentacles and balloon-shaped bodies, and they wallowed slowly in the drifting currents. Duffy thought they were food and reached out through the water to swallow their slimy bodies into her rapidly filling tummy. Uh-oh, they don't look like jellyfish to me. For a long time, Duffy floated and rested on the surface as she was starting to feel strange inside her shell. Her tummy was hurting her, and her light bubbly feeling kept gurgling up through her body. She longed for some cool seagrass to soothe her aching tummy, but she couldn't dive deep enough to reach any. She didn't understand what was happening to her, as her once powerful flippers felt weak and her body kept pulling her back to the surface. Duffy heard a loud roaring and whining noise circling around her. It scared her and confused her so much that she didn't know which way to go. Suddenly she was pulled backwards, then lifted up, high out of the water and into the fisherman's boat. She lay quietly and still. She was frightened by the noise and the smells of the people that had rescued her. The fishermen had seen turtles like this before, floating and not being able to dive, and they knew that Duffy needed help. The kind fisherman slowly poured seawater over Duffy so she could stay cool on their journey to the safety and the peace of the Turtle Hospital. At the Turtle Hospital, there were lots of blue tanks filled with clear running water, which were home to other sick turtles. Gentle hands cleaned and scraped the seaweed from her shell. Duffy was fed fresh fish, octopus and jellyfish to build up her strength, but the pain inside her tummy still got worse. Duffy was placed on a special bed with vets looking after her. As she drifted off to sleep, she dreamt of the beach where she was born. While she slept, she had an X-ray taken where it showed that the food she had eaten after the storm was not colourful fish or jellyfish, but it was plastic bags, bits of old drinks bottles and crisp wrappers, which people had thrown away and had washed into the sea or been left on the beach. The plastic rubbish floating in the sea had tricked Duffy to look like food, and she had gobbled it up, which then made her very, very poorly. The vets had to operate on Duffy to remove the plastic from her tummy, otherwise Duffy might have died. Duffy was lucky, and as she started to recover, she grew stronger and heavier again. Her shell started to shine and her flippers were powerful and healthy. She was moved into a large tank with creatures she remembered from her reef, darting colourful shoals of tropical fish, large and lumbering sharks and gliding rays. Duffy felt relaxed and confident in her strong swimming and graceful diving, and she enjoyed being with her new friends in the aquarium, whilst lots of visitors watched and smiled. Finally, the day came when Duffy was fully recovered and ready to be released back to her home. People gathered on the beach to watch Duffy being returned to the sea. The children eagerly peered into her crate to see her, and the news cameras took pictures for the whole country to see. Duffy was carried down to the beach, where she looked around at the two lines of cheering people and the shimmering ocean she remembered so well, and then strong hands released her and she was finally free. Duffy could swim. Can you see little Duffy down there? She can swim into the big, wide ocean. She was finally free. She scrambled over the sand, instinct steering her down the beach into the warm water and under the sea. A breath once more, then under again. Duffy happily swam back to her home among the reefs and the seagrass, free of the plastic that the people had put into the sea, free to chase and hunt, to swim and dive once again. Duffy was feeling much happier. There, that's the end of our story about Duffy, the sea turtle. Now, from that you need to learn and remember that when you have plastic or rubbish, we don't leave it on the floor, or we don't leave it on the beach or throw it into the sea. We have to recycle it and put it in the right bins. So maybe you can help mummies and daddies and whoever's at home to put all your rubbish in the right recycling bins. Yeah, can you do that? Good job. Well, bye for now from me and Duffy. We miss you all and we'll see you all very soon. Take care, stay safe.